Hello and welcome back to Cure for the Common Game. Today we're going to be talking about Athreos. Mr. Patrick, one of our wonderful viewers, reminded me that I have not covered him yet, and I looked up on the shelf, and you know what? I already had him built, so this is my take on Athreos. Now, there's a few important parts to just the card of him itself. The first word, indestructible, is awesome. He lives through board wipes and black white. We are in the board wipe colors. I'm not running a whole lot. I think I'm running 2 or 3, but there's a possibility that you could want to run like all of them. But yeah, I didn't. Now, the big thing here, I don't care if this guy is ever a creature or not. Now, just through gameplay, he's going to be, but it's that last line. So when your stuff dies, now it can't get exiled or stuff like that, but when it dies, you return it to your hand unless target opponent pays 3 life. Now, I love the fact that it says target opponent and not any opponent, because you can actually pick the opponent that is least affected by what you're currently doing or the card you want to get back. And a lot of the times, they'll let you just have it. Because if it's not going to hurt them, what do they care? And you can pick it up. If somebody is ever at less than 3 life, you just have the green flag to go nuts. But there's a lot going on with Athreos, and I love it. Now, I'm so, I don't even know where to start. It's a creature heavy deck, obviously. So I guess since we are talking about creatures dying, let's go ahead and roll through the creatures first. Now, things that sacrifice themselves or things that sacrifice your other creatures are absolutely, move to the top of the line because, here you're protecting the Ghost Council by sacking a dude. And then, unless your target pays the 3, you're going to get the dude back. And maybe the dude that you sacked was something like an awesome comes into play effect like Necrotal or Gravedigger, Flesh Bag, and you sack the flesh. Oh, so good! Sack the flesh bag and then or the Vampire Hex Mage. Like you can kill somebody's Planeswalker with it, and then choose the other player. Maybe they're playing Super Friends, and this is the only way to deal with it. So you take out a Planeswalker, you choose somebody else. Hey, do you want me to get this back, or you want to pay 3 life? It's so political. It's black and white. That's, of course, the Blood Artist naturally fits in there. Sometimes people are not going to let you get it back, so you got to Ray of the back. The Wisp Mare is all the evoke stuff is amazing because it's going to naturally die anyway. And 1 mana, boom, kill your omniscience. And, well, actually, no, because odds are if they've got the omniscience out, it's over anyway. But anyway, and it dies. And hey, you're gonna, you pick the guy with no enchantments, and he don't care. So, Dawn Fluke, kind of weak, but you know what? It's a 1 mana prevent 3 spell. Shriekmaw, probably the best evoke creature ever. Bone Shredder was the very first, 187 dude. Even running normally crappy stuff like the Plague Lord. Well, they couldn't print this guy enough back in the day. But, he can sack himself. He can sack other dudes. It's everything the deck wants. Then you've got your death triggers. Stuff like I'm not going to try to pronounce this guy because I have too much Tennessee in me for that. Let's see what else we got on as far as death triggers. Well, not really a death trigger, but Revelart gets cool things back. You've got your Zulaport Cutthroat, Death Greeter, Reaver Demon is, I love the fact that it destroys all creatures except for him. So, hey, Hey, you going to pay 3 life per creature? It's also a great way to get people to, spend their life. Karen Wanderer in a graveyard. So it doesn't matter if it's your graveyard. As long as a creature card with flying is in a graveyard. And then it's got all those other things. So that's really cool. The cycle of the Fallen Angel, the Nantuko Husk. Seemed like there was another one. Bloodthrone Vampire is sack outlets for your dudes. And of course, we have the best friends in the whole world, Burnished Heart and Sun Titan, because those are ridiculous together, and they're ridiculous with the theme here. So I mean, lots of ramp. Yes, please. There again, you're taking out more enchantments. The hey, when I lose, you lose, just like that. Not really so excited about the Banisher Priest, but when the Gatekeeper comes in and he does his thing, because you're not going to play it unless you kick it. He does his thing. They sack a dude, and then you can sack him to one of your sack outlets, which, by the way, are aplenty. Master Worth. I was running Master Worth in all the black-white decks that I had because these promos just kind of fell off trees. This even the promo, I don't think I don't know, don't remember, but nobody really cared for these, but it actually fits in the deck. It's so good. It destroys all other creatures other than her, or you get, your quasi-living death. Doom Necromancer. I mean, how perfect is this? I can sack him to get something else back. This is beautiful. Magus of the Mirror. Talk about sacking dudes. I mean, we can play a little politics here because, somebody's spending life for you not to put these jokers back in hand. Corpse Hauler's another one. Sack a dude, get a dude, and then you rinse and repeat. Have I talked about Hell's Caretaker yet? Because this is sweet. Because you just trade what's in play for what's not in play, and your Shriekmaw gets really cool. Tide Hollow Sculler, I'm not going to lie, I don't know why this Joker's even in there, because he doesn't really fit with the theme at all. Maybe I'm just hating. Magus to the Arena, or I'm sorry, Abyss. Yeah, I'll eat one of my own guys every turn. Sure, no problem. Sack out enchantments. Circle of Despair from Mirage. Doesn't see a whole lot of play, but I mean, think about it. You just sack dudes, prevent all damage. I'm going to fog this turn at the expense of doing what I want to do. Hey, guy, you going to pay 3 life for me to get this? It's so good. The Phyrexian Reclamation. EOT, I'm going to, get some dead guys back to my hand. Get that cast trigger again. Death Pit Offering. So what? Sack all your dudes? Okay. But you just got to make sure that your general is not turned on by this time, because if he's a creature, that indestructible ain't going to help him from sacking it. Mana ramp is pretty well standard. We got the Soul Ring, the Key Rune, the Signet. However, the rest of the artifacts, that Altered Dementia, pretty cool. Now, I'm not going to lie, I've sacked my own, or sacked my creatures to mill myself before. Just, because we do have, this is a really big graveyard as an extension of your library deck. Claws of Gix and the Ashnod's Altar. Now, sorcery-wise, we do want to kind of get things back. So I'm using the Dread Return because the flashback is right where we want to be. The Resurrection. Bone Harvest is a great EOT card as well, because it's an instant, and I don't understand why, but I love it. Death's Duet. You get 2 dudes back. Diabolic Tutor, because demonic tutors don't grow on trees. Route Reign of the Pit is here again. This is what you want to be doing. You get to selectively choose which creature you sacrifice. That's beautiful. Dregs of Sorrow is that late game big mana I win card because it's a lot like those other big black X spells. You don't you don't realize this is what won you the game until you cast it, because I mean once you get X up to 3 or 4 even, I'm gonna wipe your board and draw a new hand. Wow, doesn't get enough love. Ill-Gotten Gains is the greatest last card in your hand ever. And of course, Living Death. We got to have Living Death, because that's, you're naturally sacking your stuff, and if you happen to raw dog into your Living Death, that dynamic of that couple of turns where you are just sacking for all these abilities to get to whatever it is your death triggers are, and then bam, you're just bringing them all back. It's a beautiful, beautiful thing, and you're probably wiping everybody else's board at the same time. Now, instance, we have our trio of black-white removal that I love to crutch on: Utter End, Unmake, and Mortify. Anguished Unmaking and the other one are, I don't have as many copies, but, hey, it's what Grim Harvest is the greatest. This is, okay, we've all read Grim Harvest 100 times, but in this particular deck, it's amazing because of that recover. Now, you've got to do it. You've got to have the mana. If not, this card gets exiled. But, I mean, you just can keep reusing it over and over. Yeah, essentially it's 5 mana for the spell. But wow. Makeshift Mannequin, kind of going to get us a little stuff back. Face Reward to protect us from board wipes. And if we're in a situation where we, can't really get your stuff back, it protects you. Condemn takes care of one-shot robot and other things. Oh, hold on. Does it take care of one-shot robot? I don't know. One-shot robot just scares the hell out of me. I'm not going to lie. Full Bottom Feast. Here again. In a number on top and then draw a card. This is essentially Bone Harvest. It may be a little better because Bone Harvest, you don't get the card till the upkeep, and this card is just insta. But, and then our last card, of course, we have Altar's Reap. Sack a dude, draw 2 cards. Let's see if I got any lands worth talking about. Not really. We have the Brian Canada fetch lands. Now, I don't know if I've talked about the common deserts or not yet. These are like the commonest commons that ever common, and I'm running them like in every 1 or 2 color deck that I've got, simply because, man, if you draw them early, no biggie. This is kind of a format where a lot of lands come into play tapped anyway. But if you draw it late, it's just 2 mana draw a card. I mean, it is. I would, on turn, 32 or 12 or whatever, I would a lot rather draw Desert of the True than I would a Plains. Anyway, that's what I've got for Athreos. I appreciate you for Pat for bringing that to mind, because this is one of my old favorites. By the way, those particular sleeves are absolute trash. It's an old deck back. I think I built this one right when he came out, and I was buying sleeves that were just. I think I got these at like Books A Million or some crap like that. That are not name brand sleeves. I use a lot of Ultra Pro simply because it's a decent quality and they are somewhat cheap. I found the places to buy the the designs that nobody really likes, i.e. cheeseburger, and they are ridiculously cheap. It's still an Ultra Pro sleeve, and I don't really care because what they look like, because let's face it, there's so many, but yeah, those are just bad. Anyway, I do appreciate you watching. Y'all let me know what you think. But right now, we're going to shuffle and cut.